There are two ways to get to the working directory where we want to start working in the terminal. The first way is through the Ubuntu app on the desktop. When we open the Ubuntu app, we are in the home directory by default. Type ls to see what is inside the directory. You can see we have the MyCodes directory here. Remember that MyCodes is a folder we created to store our code files so that they are organized and not scattered. Before we can do anything inside MyCodes directory, we need to enter it. To go into MyCodes, type cd space MyCodes. Oops, I made a mistake. I didn't type MyCodes correctly. Now we are inside the directory. To check the content of this directory, type ls. You can see that nothing is listed. That means MyCodes directory is empty. Now, let's access MyCodes using the second method. Open the MyCodes folder in the GUI. Then right-click and you will see the option Open in Terminal. Only those using Windows 11 may see this option. Those using Windows 10 or below may not have it. That means this method may not work for them and they will need to use the first method. When you click this option, it opens the terminal and takes you directly into MyCodes directory. Type ls again and you will see that the directory is still empty. Let's close this and go back to the first method using the Ubuntu app. You can see that this is the same directory we reached using the second method. Notice that the last word before the $sign is MyCodes. Let's confirm again using the second method. You can see here too that the last word is MyCodes and the directory is empty. This confirms that both methods take us to the same place. But I personally prefer the first method because it works on all operating systems. Also, the terminal interface here looks nicer with better color. Now it's time to understand what a directory really is. You have been hearing me use the words directory and folder. If you have been paying attention, you will notice that I use them interchangeably. So the question is, what is a directory? What is a folder? Is there any difference between them? The answer is simple. A folder and a directory mean the same thing. They are synonyms. The only difference is In the GUI, we say folder, but in the terminal, we say directory. Now, to check your current working directory in the terminal, we use the command pwd. This means print working directory. When I type pwd, it shows /home/additional/MyCodes. Look closely at the last word in the path. You can see it is MyCodes. Also, if you look at the terminal prompt, the last word before $sign is also MyCodes. This means there are two ways to know your current working directory. The first one is to look at the last word before the $sign. The second method is that use the pwd command. I prefer the first method because it is faster, but if you want the full path, then you use the second method, which is pwd command. Now that you understand that a folder in GUI is called directory in terminal, let's learn how to create one. To create a directory in terminal, type mkdir followed by the name. Mkdir means make directory. Let's create a directory named testing. So we write mkdir space testing. Press enter. Since there is no error, it means the directory has been created. Remember, whatever we do in the terminal will reflect in the GUI and vice versa. Now that we have created the testing directory in the terminal, we should see it in the GUI. Let's check. You can see it here. We can also create folders in the GUI. Let's create one and name it learn. Now we have two folders, testing and learn. That means when we go to the terminal, we should see both. To list the content of the directory, type ls. You can now see testing and learn. Notice the colors. In GUI, folders are usually yellow. In terminal, directories are shown in blue. That blue color helps us identify directories easily. Let's create another directory in the terminal. mkdir from terminal. When naming things in coding, avoid using spaces. If the name has more than one word, use an underscore instead. Now it has been created. To see it in the GUI, we need to refresh the window. You can see it here now. Let's confirm again in the terminal using ls. You can see all the directories listed and they match what we have in the GUI. Let's practice more. Create another folder in the GUI and name it from GUI. Now, go back to the terminal and type ls. You can see from GUI directory has appeared. This shows that whatever we do in the GUI reflects in the terminal. The command mkdir does the same thing as right-click your mouse, select new, then click on folder. So that is how we create a folder inside the GUI, and it does the same thing if we use mkdir in the terminal. Let's create another directory named new folder. Remember, do not use spaces in names. Use underscore instead. Type mkdir new folder, new underscore folder. Then type ls to confirm. You can see new folder here. Perfect. Now we have many directories. How do we enter any of them? To do that, we use the cd command followed by the name of the directory. For example, cd len. You can see that the last word before the $ has changed to len. This means we are now inside the len directory. You can also see /mycodes before /len in the path. In this case, len is the working directory, while mycodes is the parent directory. Now that you understand parent directory, how do we go back to it? Very simple. Type cd space dot dot and press enter. Now you can see that we are back in MyCodes.